Hey, everybody. Welcome to this year's world premiere of Picking and Putting. Here we go. This is episode 1, Liberty Bill and the Liberty Bill Studio. It's Doc Z and his. We're celebrating the number 3 for obvious reasons. It's 2023, and it's Damar Hamlin's number from the Buffalo Bills. So we thought we'd start off with that and a few shout outs. Bill, you got your shout outs? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, my shout out is Lovie Smith, head coach of the Houston Texans, formerly the Chicago Bears, led them to their most recent Super Bowl performance. And even though he knew he was going to get, well, I guess because he knew he was going to get fired, he won the football game against the Colts, which helped the Bears secure the first pick. And now we can call teams like the Panthers that foolishly passed on Justin Fields, and we can hold them hostage for all their picks. Thank you, Lovey. We appreciate it. And I think they should consider building a small statue outside the new stadium in Arlington Heights in honor of Lovie Smith.
Yeah, whether you got to know whether it has a beard or not, though. That'll be a key thing.
It needs a beard.
Lovey's going good with a beard, man. He started out at Illinois, so he looks
good.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got 3 shout outs. One is of course, to Damar Hamlin. Glad to hear the young man's back in Buffalo and doing well. That's pretty cool. And the UC, University of Cincinnati Medical Center, those folks were outstanding along with the guys on the field. They brought a nation together. And my other one is for NeuroScan. I've told you about this before, folks. It's a simple test for concussions that should be used in every collegiate, high school, middle school, pro sport. There you go. NeuroScan. That's my advertisement. Okay. So we thought we'd start off. I got a song. I thought, well, what appropriate group? It's an old group called 3 Dog Night. And so I said 3 Dog Night. One is the loneliest number. And their famous group that was formed in 1967. They had 7 members.
7.
You want to know the meaning of the group?
Actually, I think I do know what it is. Isn't it? And I learned that this winter season, thanks to our local meteorologist here in Charlotte, Brad Panovich, shout out to him, I guess, on NBC. But it means like how cold it is, right? Like you need 1 dog in the bed with you, or you need 2 dogs. But if it's a real cold night, it's a 3-doggy night.
Yeah, and the idea is it's so bitterly cold that you need 3 dogs in bed with you to get warm. Yeah, so there you go. Very good. You got that one.
That's a recent thing I learned. I haven't known that before 2022. So
well, they had a few songs back in my era. One was the loneliest number, was 1969. They had one called Joy to the World, Mama Told Me, Eli's Coming, Shambhala. But the rule
Mama Told Me, my favorite one out of those. That's a damn good song.
Yeah, I liked them. They had 40 number 1 hits between 69 and 75. Their name was given to them by their girlfriend named June Fairchild, who read about it in an Aboriginal Australian book. So there you go. And
that's random as hell.
Yeah.
How many drugs were they on when they got to
1969? I'll let you know. It was quite a few. They had their debut album was called 3 Dog Night. So anyways, I just thought that was kind of fun because they were the number 3 and it kind of fit with our logo. And you see, I got the number 3. You people that watch on YouTube, you can see my number 3, big gold 3, honoring 2023 and Damar Hamlin.
40 number 1 hits. That's really impressive.
Okay. Now here's your trivia question. We'll come back to this, and I know you'll have one right off the bat. You might have more of them because you're a baseball aficionado. But name 5 of the greatest athletes in history to wear the number 3. Now, I found 10, and it goes beyond that. But when you got to 10, it was starting to be, people that, he's famous, but not really.
Babe Ruth, obviously.
Yeah, you got to think about it. We'll come back to that. But yeah, that's the one that jumps out at everybody. That was the first one I got. And then the other ones, I'll give you some more later, but it took me a while to think of them. So that was pretty cool. So Well, what would you, what, first of all, I wanted to talk about the events in Buffalo. I thought that was,
The kickoff return specifically,
huh?
the kickoff return on Sunday.
Oh, how about that? That was like out of this world. You couldn't write that as a script.
Yeah, had just returned from the Grove Park Inn in Asheville and sat down to watch the Red Zone channel, and chills, sports
Yeah.
chills. Whether if you're spiritual, religious, whatever, that was something cosmic that happened on Sunday in Buffalo. That was cool, and I'm gonna miss that stadium. I'm gonna miss that environment. That's an old school Lambeau Field college environment. They're going to build one of these new stadiums out there. That was
Yeah.
really unique and a really special
Well, if they
day.
build it and they'll be domed, and of course they eliminate the Buffalo weather like everything else. So yeah, after all that was on Monday, but going back to the original event, here's an interesting, I looked up as a medical guy, and my background was cardiac surgery. So it was interesting. The number of people that survived that kind of event is 25% if they're resuscitated within 3 minutes. Usually your limiting force is a perfusion blood flow to your brain and kidneys. But obviously you got to get the heart beating again. If it's beyond 3 minutes that it takes them to resuscitate you, it takes 3% of survival. And the overall survival at this time in 2023, 2022 is 15%. And that it's just crazy. I mean, that's a witness thing in the hospital setting all the time, and people survive, but not walking down the street. That's just crazy. So anyway,
And it's AAD accessibility, right? Like that's one of the big.
Yeah, well, that's
first of all,
something
the
that
the NFL did a great job, and you mentioned the Cincinnati hospital team as well. But it's the AADs on site, right?
Yeah, and I think that's something that'll come out of this is more lay people will understand that they can do simple CPR. They don't have to do mouth to mouth. It's kind of changed how it's evolved and all that. Having an airway is important, and these AED devices should be about everywhere. You could have one, it's like having a in your own house, you've got something to put out fires, a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, we need to get one in our house.
Yeah,
no
having
question.
it there, they talk to you. So you put the pads on the person, it does the EKG and it tells you step away. I mean, it really is, with a little education, any household could have one if they're affordable pricing, and I'm not sure what the pricing is. So but for sure every public venue of any kind should have them. It's an amazing device and totally worth having.
And when you list those percentages, it gives you a chance, is what I took away from all that. Having that AAD,
yeah, well,
gives you a chance.
And the other thing is, having a young man who's in his age group and about as good a shape as you can be in. The other thing I would take away for the folks out there that I will say is this leads you back to when folks come out of middle school into high school and into college. It is important to have some kind of cardiac evaluation. Now they have physicals. I think the major universities now do cardiac echocardiograms, like in Alabama, Ohio State. These schools do a full evaluation of their kids. So I suspect that'll become more the norm after this. I mean, the professional level, I'm sure they do it, but Division 2, 3, I'm not sure. But anyways, if it was my child, I'd want him evaluated or whatever. And I used to do physicals for high school, middle school kids, and believe it or not, we might do 100 physicals and we would find 5 kids that were under 13 that had hypertension.
Wow.
Usually young Black males, but you would find it. And those are the kids that could develop what's called, cardiomyopathy or a big heart and could be susceptible. That being said, well, let's get off that.
I have one question on that topic, because another takeaway that I heard people talking about is for youth sports specifically. baseball, lacrosse, softball, hockey, where you've got maybe a pitcher close to the action or a bat could fly, getting young kids to wear a pad on
Yeah.
their chest to help protect them. That
Yeah.
seems like a pretty simple. We used to wear the cup back in the day, for the genital area, but that was the takeaway I had too, is we need to
Well,
put a pad on these kids playing these
well, yeah.
sports.
Well, think about it. That's one of the things that's driven me crazy anyways anymore is how many guys don't wear a cup and how many young people, how many of these football players, they're wearing shorts now. Now they obviously, the linemen all wear knee braces. That's a protective mechanism. But all the running backs and the wide receivers, they're running around in Lululemon shorts.
You're right.
And I'm going, and that's their knees. So I guess they've done studies and they know those knee pads don't do much good, I guess. But, whatever. Yeah, that's based on the diagnosis of what they call commotio cordis, which means abruptly hitting the chest, which has to do with baseball, lacrosse, hockey puck in specific. Out of the major diagnoses that would have caused this in this young man, I would put that as the least likely. But that's a medical thing. So whether it was or it isn't, for sure, I agree with you. And you think about in those sports, I don't know what degree of padding outside of football. Lacrosse has shoulder pads and stuff, but I don't think anybody had. And you're right. In hockey now, they may, because they look like they're snowmen, so I don't know. But
Protect the chest.
Think about the playoffs?
College football playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people are overreacting to the national championship and forgot that Ohio State dominated Georgia and had a field goal at the end to win. Yeah. So I don't think Georgia is elite. They've dominated for 2 years. They're the new Alabama. All that is true. But Ohio State's still there. Alabama's still right there. Michigan's there, although Harbaugh's leaving. And then there's a drop off to like your Clemsons and everybody else. I thought it was wildly entertaining. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. And shout out to Georgia.
I agree with you. The semifinals were great. And up until this year, those have been bad. Yep. The funniest thing was seeing the video afterwards. I didn't watch, obviously I left going into this at halftime, but the guy on ESPN, the Georgia grad, David
Pollock,
and he's sitting there next to Saban saying, yeah, Georgia's the next. I'm going, Saban's going, yeah, not so fast. He's pulling the Coach Corso, not so fast.
People, when you look back on this year, Alabama lost 2 games, LSU and Tennessee on the last second. I mean, Alabama's right there, everybody. Yeah. So happy for the Dogs. You are the best team, but three-peat, we'll see. Really cool, though. Stetson Bennett, a lot of people, the narrative last year was, hey, he should walk away. It's not going to get any better than this. And he clearly went to work and improved and got better and got back-to-back championships and his NIL money too. So that's up to him as well.
And if somebody will give him a trial, he'll get a short contract. And even if he doesn't, I'm willing to say that 10 years from now, there are 12 Chevrolet dealerships across the state of Georgia, the Stetson Bennett dealership. So he's pretty much, the example I would give is Archie Griffith.
Yeah.
Good forever in the state of Ohio. Never he was good. Everybody, there's nothing he couldn't advertise and nothing he couldn't do for the university that they didn't want him out front. So
that's right. And the last point I would make on Georgia actually is I don't want to take it away from them though. They still are. They're on that. Remember the USC Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush teams. They're on that level, and I do think they deserve that type of respect.
Yeah, I do. I thought it was kind of fun. Well, we'll jump ahead just a little bit, and then we got short time. What do you think about the pro playoffs? The sad part I have about all this is, I think Buffalo, Miami, Tua's not going to play. I think I won't be surprised if there's a retirement in his future, kind of like Luke Kuechly.
Or Andrew Luck. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not going to play. And there's a lot of rotations that's going to happen.
No Lamar. I mean, it's almost as if adding another game wasn't the best idea.
Well, yeah, you think? And I think the deal with Lamar is I don't think he didn't practice today. He didn't dress. He's not playing. And the other part of that with him is that remember, he's not under contract.
No, it's a huge. So why would he go out there and risk his body when he doesn't have the guaranteed money? Yeah, that's absolutely part of it. And that's the risk you take when you're Baltimore. And the Bears are going to get in that situation with Justin Fields, another running QB. If you don't extend him, he's got to protect himself.
Yeah. Well, no. And I think that's great. I think Cincinnati and Buffalo move on.
Oh, yeah. And how good will that game be? And how good will the winner of that game versus Kansas City be?
So
those are the two games I'm looking forward to.
Well, so what's the deal if either one of them moves to the championship game, then it's a neutral site with Kansas City?
No, so Cincinnati would visit Kansas City, whereas Buffalo and Kansas City would be at a neutral site.
Okay, so it's Buffalo, because Buffalo's a 2 seed.
Yep, and I personally, I haven't done a deep dive yet, but I'm taking Chiefs 49ers. I actually think the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl, and nothing to do with Brock Purdy. It's that defense, and it's Kyle Shanahan. And Christian McCaffrey might not be putting up a ton of stats, but since he got there, George Kittle is. Defenses are distracted by Christian McCaffrey. They're feeding George Kittle. 49ers over Chiefs, George Kittle's Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, let the Brock Purdy, Trey Lance debate begin.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you totally, and I think they stumbled into Brock Purdy, and I think he's their quarterback, and Trey Lance have a nice day. You can follow Zach Wilson to wherever you want to, but it won't be there. And I heard the other one is I think Jimmy G will be bathing in the sun of South Florida very soon.
Okay.
That's where he's going to be, because apparently the OC there and stuff worked with him. It's the same system or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. But, there's connections of Jimmy in Miami and New York, the New York Jets.
Yeah.
We'll be looking for a quarterback. If
I'm him, I go to Miami. The hell with that.
And on the Panthers front, whatever you do, Panthers, do not try to get Zach Wilson or Trey Lance as reclamation projects like you did with Darnold and Mayfield. Okay, draft a quarterback.
Well, there's two things with the Carolina Panthers. One is the coach, and I do think they'll hire Wilkes, but they're bringing everybody in. He's looking at everything out there.
I heard not a report, but a local radio person suggesting Steve Wilkes, but with Frank Reich as offensive coordinator. Well, I can get behind that.
That might be. He was in town today in Charlotte to interview. The other one there is the quarterback. The quarterback part with the Panthers, is that they have a 3rd round quarterback on that they've never put. They don't know what they got, and that's Matt Corral. So they do have a quarterback. Nobody mentions him, but he is sitting there. And now maybe they saw him in some practices late in the year or on the, I don't know. So maybe they know what they have, but nobody else does. And then if they move up, the idea was that if they move up, they'd take CJ Stroud, but he's got like 2 days to say whether he's going out for the draft or not.
Oh, he's going. He's going.
I mean, if he doesn't go, he's crazy. Now, I think you're right. I think the Bears are going to hold people ransom and get like, a couple number ones early.
Yeah. Here's what I want, Carolina. Scott Fitterer, are you listening? I want Brian Burns. You haven't extended him yet. You extended DJ Moore, but Brian Burns is still on his rookie deal. We'll take him. Yeah. And then we want your 1st round pick this year. We want your 2nd round pick this year. We want your 2nd round pick next year. And we want your 1st and 2nd round pick the year after that. But I want Brian Burns. And I think the Bears are going to maybe try to get a veteran player as opposed to a bunch of picks, just because they have so much work to do that they can't keep kicking this can. They need a veteran stud as part of this package.
Yeah, well, I agree. It'll be fun to see, and I do agree on your picks. Out of the, I don't see it. I'll be honest with you. I think Dallas will lose this weekend. Believe it or not.
Really, I think they're going to kick Tampa Bay's ass. Maybe I'm biased because I saw them lose.
I think Tampa Bay he'll put it to him one last time. I don't know, maybe not, but the other one is I just don't. Since this injury and stuff, I don't buy into Philadelphia getting there. And getting all the way to the finals. They may get to the championship game because they've got, they got to buy. But I'm like you. I picked San Francisco. I think they're the most complete team.
And Shanahan's a genius. He really is.
And I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Cincinnati again.
Yep, I agree.
But it could be any of those. But you know who's been playing TCU football this year? Kansas City Chiefs.
I like
they got a great record and they beat everybody, but they beat them by the skin of their teeth. They're not beating them like they used to. He's down there throwing underhanded passes through guys' legs and doing all that stuff he does, Patrick, and he's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. So, well, I gotta to sum it up. When I gotta go back to my trivia question, I'll get back.
Yes,
to
we
that.
do. Yeah, I got a couple ideas.
Let's go back to the trivia question. Give me your top 5 if you can even give me 5.
I don't know if I can give you 5, but I'm gonna try. Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe.
I'm Googling this.
No, I don't have Gordie Howe. I got the top 10 and he isn't it.
Okay, well then that probably wasn't it. I have Allen Iverson would be on mine.
Well, you have Babe Ruth.
Yep, I had Babe Ruth earlier.
Yeah, you're cheating. You're Googling and right in front
of
me.
I'm Googling Gordie Howe because I could have sworn he was number 3. But Allen Iverson and Babe Ruth I got on my own. So I'm giving myself now college. I'm thinking, is it a college football?
No, you got here it is. You've got two pro basketball players, one currently playing and one just recently retired, both famous.
So I got AI, but the one currently playing, I'm embarrassed. Gordie Howe's number 9, by the way. Paul. Oh, see, I knew CP3. That's embarrassing.
And the recently retired is Dwayne Wade.
That is also embarrassing that I couldn't come up with that.
Now I got a few more here for it. Well, I got an old-time football player, real old. He's
Sammy Baugh?
Mel Ott.
Mel Ott.
Mel Ott was baseball player.
Yeah,
I screwed that up. Sorry,
before
Mel.
my time. Sorry, Mel.
Yeah. So, we got one more basketball player, Tracy McGrady.
No, he was number 1.
Well, it says number 3. And
you got bad info.
No, I got it off of Wikipedia.
That's always
I trust
right.
my source.
Okay, Okay, he changed to number 3, but he started with number 1. So I don't think that should count.
Whatever. And then there are two famous baseball players, and I'm sure you're not going to get them.
Are they like 1800s baseball players?
No, Harmon Killebrew.
Oh no, I could have got that one. I lived in Minnesota for a while.
Jimmy Fox.
Yeah, I've heard of those players.
Okay,
absolutely.
So those are the top 10. So
I really thought Gordie Howe was number 3, but he's number 9.
Yeah, well, the only one I pulled right out of the hat was Ruth. And then if I worked, I'll tell you who I forgot, Ken Griffey Jr.
He was 30.
Well, maybe it was his dad.
That could be.
Yeah, I got Griffey written down here. It must have been his dad.
No, Griffey was, I guess Griffey changed. Griffey was 24, then he was 30. He did wear 3 at one point, but he was 24 originally.
Okay. Well, you got anything else you want to throw out there before we wrap it up?
I do not. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year to you. Prospero año for all you Hispanic folks out there who speak Espanol. And there's the numero tres behind us. The question or the quote I have for today is this. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I have learned about life. It goes on. Robert Frost, famous poet. So there you go, folks. That's our 3 episode for 2023, kicking off our premiere. Loved having you. Hope to see you again. And have a good evening, Billy.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody. See you later.